Thanks to our sponsors. Goods and services used in the production of Hangin' Out with Dee were brought to you by
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hanging Out with Dee, and guess what? We are super excited because today we have Mrs. Connecticut Universal, Susan Pagan, hanging out with us. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
Yes, I'm really, really psyched to have you. So you have a really interesting story, and your platform was Poverty and Homelessness. Well, it is for the year, correct?
Correct, yes.
And so tell us a little bit about your childhood and why the issue of poverty and homelessness is so important to you.
Well, I grew up in what I consider extreme poverty. My father and my sister's father died when I was 4, she was 7. And then a few years after that, my mom remarried to a man who had 3 daughters, and then together they had my brother. So it was like a mine, yours, and ours situation.
Yeah.
And as the years passed, circumstances put us in a poverty situation. Our home was falling down around us.
Literally falling down?
Literally. Our roof collapsed in a couple places. We had no heat in most winters. Running water, our plumbing sometimes failed. So, we were kind of like farmed out occasionally to family and friends. And when we were at home, it was difficult.
Yeah.
It was a loving environment, but it was still very difficult.
What you needed. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
And so I feel like, if you emerge from a situation like that or from any other struggle in your life, that it's not only your responsibility, but a privilege, to help others that are going through the same or similar circumstances.
Yeah. That's incredible. That's a powerful story. So what do you think helped you to get out of that? Did you have mentors, or did you have like a philosophy that helped you get through that?
Not really mentors, just my faith in God and through prayer and just walking through it. You have to go through things and be developed in your character and learn things from it. And so I think that's really what helped. Also the ability to help others and to reach out and to tell your story so that others can be inspired.
Your husband, how you met?
My husband and I met
What's
at work. Ivan.
Shout out to Ivan. Yes.
So we met at work many, many years ago at Danbury Hospital. And we were friends. And then years later, we got back together, and he sort of hunted me.
That's right. That's how it should be, right?
He chased me, and I was like, no, I don't want any part of this relationship. We have too much baggage. But then he didn't give up, and I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah. What was it like being a part of the pageant? Had you been in pageants before?
I had from years ago, and I stepped out of them for a while, but then this past year I really started exploring them again because of the work that I do for the homeless and the refugees. I really wanted to get back into it, and so that's why I sought out this particular pageant and entered it. So it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It can be costly, but it's a great deal of fun.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about your passion, the homeless and all of that. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think that it was sparked in me when I went on a trip to Jordan. And we were able to minister to and to speak with the refugees from Iran and Iraq. This was back in 2007.
Yes.
And, I was able to hear what they went through, the separation from their families, and many had suffered so many things. So I shared a little bit about my story, and I was able to see that, their face, their countenance changed from despair to one of hope.
To hope, exactly.
Just because they know that, this isn't how they have to stay forever. And that it won't be how they live forever.
Yeah.
And so I realized that, I needed to start talking about it and just to help.
Yeah.
And so that's why I started.
I think that's powerful. Yeah. Whenever someone can look at someone who has passed through what you're going through, that's always inspiring.
Right. Absolutely.
And then you were talking about that you and your husband actually go and deliver food on Sundays, you said?
On Saturdays.
On Saturdays.
Yes, once a month. We have 5 families that we deliver groceries to. And, you know, we're able to get to know them and their families and talk with them a little bit. And just to give them the supply of groceries that can supplement what they already have. And it's in our area, so it's nice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you don't give them like prepared meals, you give them groceries.
Correct. Ones that they can do themselves,
Yeah.
which kind of gives them a sense of empowerment.
Correct, and dignity.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
You were talking about that there was a time in your childhood where you had nowhere to call home. Were you like literally moving from family to family? What was that like?
When I was a senior in high school, my mom had to finally sell our home for a song and a dance, really. And so in order to finish out my senior year, I had to move in with a friend and rent a room there. So she moved to another town that didn't support my school system, and I really needed to finish my senior year. So I was basically living on my own at 17.
Wow.
Oh no, I was then 18.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went to college, and after college, I really had nowhere to go because the home that she purchased wasn't really big enough for us.
Yeah.
So there were many years that I felt like, you know, I was a refugee. Yeah, I was displaced. I didn't have a home.
Yeah.
I was never without a place to sleep, but it just
You didn't feel like you belonged.
Exactly. So, you know, I can certainly understand how people that are displaced feel. You know, they're separated from their homes, from their families, from everything they know, and from their own space.
Yeah. That makes you feel empowered, knowing this is where my toothbrush goes.
Yeah,
this is my
exactly,
bed. This is my space.
Exactly.
Even if it's a couch, it's your couch.
Right. And you can make it look pretty or whatever. You know. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is.
Just recently, we have a nonprofit in Haiti, and just this week, there was a mom who came to our orphanage clinic. She was malnourished and hungry, and so she was like on a drip overnight, just getting her nourishment in her body. While she was there, the kids were like burning a wasp or whatever it was they were doing, and the entire house burnt to the ground.
Oh no.
So devastating, but the house is just made of straw and mud.
Right.
And the sense of loss that she feels,
of course,
is beyond explanation. That's her mud hut, that's her little thing with her little curtain, that's her space with her 4 children. So I certainly, you know, understand, you know, what you're talking about. All right, guys, we're going into Dee's life questions. All right, Miss Susan, what do you know for sure?
I know for sure that prayer works and that God is for us and not against us.
Give a testimony. Well, clearly you lived it, right?
Right. And I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm a stronger person for it. My
for
character,
the experience that you went through.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, I have said that I wouldn't want to change how I grew up or what happened in my past, and I wouldn't.
Really? Why?
Because it's made me who I am. It's made me want to help others and to share with others and to give. And you know, if I grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, who knows what I would be doing. So, you know, back then, yes, I would have wanted to change it. But now I can look back and say, no, I wouldn't want to change anything.
I absolutely agree with you. Lots of times when we're going through tough times, we're like, why?
I know.
But when you actually go through it, it really does give you a strength and an empathy for other people. And I think it gives you a depth of personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What is purpose? You're clearly living your purpose. How do you know that you're living in your purpose, and how do you think someone can find their purpose?
I was given very good advice once from a pastor of ours, and he said, whatever moves you to tears, that's where your heart is, and that's where your passion is, and to walk in it. And there are many things that move me to tears, but probably the biggest thing is seeing someone living in despair.
Yes.
So.
How powerful is that? Say that again.
Whatever moves you to tears is where your heart is, and that's where your passion lies.
Let's just pause on that. That's powerful. That's powerful. Who told you that?
A pastor of ours.
Yeah. What's his name?
Pastor William Carroll.
Pastor William Carroll. That was super deep. We like that one. And then would you say your pastor, you said you didn't really have mentors growing up, but now in adulthood, are there people who have helped you or encouraged you anyway? Because that's a really important part of being a success, right?
Yeah.
Having people who are in your corner and cheering you on.
Well, I just have to say my husband. I mean, obviously he's my life partner, but he is very calm, very peaceful.
Which we need.
Is the opposite of me.
Yes.
Through struggles, through trials, he is just so at peace, and he has taught me to be that as well. He's very prayerful, and he's just he's my strength. He really is.
That's wonderful. All right, guys, we're going to wrap up this segment, and now it's time for our new favorite segment, I Don't Like That Man. Okay, Susan Pagan, what gets on your last nerve?
Again, there are many things, but if I have to choose one, when I have an idea or I say something and it is kind of overlooked, and then time goes by and someone steals it.
Oh my gosh.
And they call it their own.
Yes.
It's like, really?
That will crawl under my skin and on my last. That is annoying.
It is.
Okay, tell us another one.
Another one. When all of the information isn't gotten and things are assumed.
Yes.
I don't like that either. It's people just don't get the both sides of the story.
Yes.
That's very irritating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are big ones for me, and it can be bad in even our judgments of people.
Right.
In how we assume information.
Right.
Yeah.
It creates such a bad misunderstanding, and and then things snowball from there.
Creates drama that we don't need to have.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't like that, man. Thank you, Susan. All right, guys. Now, Susan is really, really passionate, as we said earlier, about poverty and the issue of poverty, and it's clearly a personal issue. She's been through it. She survived it. And so we're going into the Say What segment, and we're going to be talking about that. So it's time for Say What. Okay, welcome to our Say What segment. But before we get deeper into it and have Susan talk to us about her passion and what's on her heart, we have a really cool video about poverty in the USA. Check it out.
Right now in America, more than 46 million people are living in poverty. That's the largest number in more than 50 years, more than the combined populations of all these states. Who lives in poverty, USA? Nearly 1 out of 6 Americans. Wage earners who've lost their jobs, seniors who can't afford their medicine, people in the military, families living on minimum wage, and worse yet, nearly 1 in 5 children. What's it like living at the poverty line? How do you make ends meet? According to the U.S. government, a family of 4 is living in poverty USA if they're making less than $22,113 a year. That's $1,842 a month. Just how far will that take you? Not very far. Take housing. At the poverty line, you'll pay about $530 a month for basic shelter. How about keeping the lights on and the kids warm? Utilities, $250 a month. You'll need to get to work, to childcare, to the store. But public transportation isn't always available. A used car, gas, and maintenance runs about $343 a month. What about food? You'll average about $334 a month, or you'll go without. That's why hunger can be a problem when you're living at the poverty line. But maybe you can qualify for assistance, like food stamps or subsidized school lunches. And while you're at work, your younger children will need childcare. Even with subsidies, you'll spend $210 a month per child. Now, healthcare. Even with government assistance programs, it will cost you, on average, $221 a month for insurance, out-of-pocket expenses, copays, and prescriptions. Of course, a surprise illness can be devastating. Many low-wage jobs don't provide sick leave. If you miss work or stay at home with the kids, you'll lose those days' wages, or worse, your job. Now it's the end of the month, and you've run out of money. But the expenses keep coming. Clothing and shoes for your growing children, school supplies, never mind saving for college. What will you let go? Can you hang on until the next payday? Or will you fall deeper into poverty? There are ways out of Poverty USA. Not with a hand out, but with a hand up. CCHD is the anti-poverty program of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, protecting human life and dignity, promoting the common good.
Wow, that was a really powerful video from the CCHD. What do you think about that, Susan?
It was actually hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, there was one point when they were saying for childcare, $250 a month if you're in the poverty line.
Right.
I was paying for childcare for my kids something like, especially when they're younger, close to $200 a week.
That's crazy.
So imagine that. It's a serious issue.
Right.
All right, guys, we're going to go into graphics. All right, graphic number 1. You said that there are 33,000 homeless in Connecticut. Talk about that.
Well, in our area,
Yeah.
I think that the biggest problem is that we're not aware of just how many people are homeless or living in despair.
True. Yeah.
Especially in our county. So a greater awareness needs to be brought to the forefront. So that statistic is pretty alarming.
Yeah.
A lot of those are veterans and then children or youth. Youth are harder to determine because you don't know if they are runaways or if they're just moving around or whatever. But we as a state are working really well with this, and we've eliminated the amount of veterans that are homeless now to about 20. 20.
Wonderful.
So, and by the end of the year, they're confident that will be 0.
So what are we doing? Are we putting them in their own housing?
Into housing or into shelters. Some of the mostly housing though.
Wonderful.
And it's through a program called Opening Doors, which is a nationwide government initiative.
Wonderful.
So we're doing much better in our state, but as a nation, we need to do better.
Yeah. Awesome. Next graphic. You said nonprofits need our help and we need to volunteer and give more.
Right. Definitely give more. Most of them are suffering financially. Some have to close down. And they also need our help just to chip in and to help, like, for instance, delivering the groceries that we do.
Yeah.
Helping to fix up housing.
Yeah.
And just being a
Being
listener.
available,
Being
yeah.
available,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And just to be aware and to give when you can.
Correct. Very important. Sometimes, we think, just by putting some money and saying, here you go, there,
Right.
that's
Exactly.
good enough. But it's so powerful to have someone not only give, but to sit and listen, and hear your experience.
Exactly.
All right, next graphic. Lead by example, Mon. Walk the talk.
This is the best part. Just actually go out and do the work, and that's what I do, and my husband, we try to do.
Yeah.
We spend probably one vacation a year, sometimes two, where we travel to different areas and just help out for a week or two. Sometimes on our own, sometimes with our church mission department, sometimes with other people. So, you know, just to go and just to meet the needs, whatever those needs are.
Yeah.
We were recently in Puerto Rico. The needs were, you know, the women wanted to have an exercise program, so I taught them some exercises.
Oh,
we did
how powerful is that?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully they've incorporated that and they're doing it daily. Because, you know, you need to get those endorphins flowing so that your depression levels don't plummet. So,
Powerful, and that we stay healthy. That is powerful. Next graphic. Poverty leads to many other issues, you said.
So that was one what I just mentioned, depression.
Yes.
You can go there.
Yes.
Domestic violence, substance abuse, just so many other things. Pet abuse.
Yes.
Everything you can imagine.
All the horrible things
come from living in poverty.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. There was this, I don't know if you know about, there was this Red Nose campaign a few months ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
And one of the clips, this actor was somewhere in Africa, and this boy was left homeless. His mother died. He didn't know his father, and his siblings just went somewhere else. He didn't know where they were. He literally was on his own. And he just talking about, I think it was Jack Black was the actor who was talking to him, and just listening to how afraid that little boy was at night to go sleep on a garbage heap with all these other men and these strange people around him. It was really horrible to watch. So, you know, what you're saying is good stuff.
Right, and the danger of trafficking in situations like that is just magnified.
Yes. All right, next graphic. Your global vision. Tell us what your vision is.
So my dream is to be able to supply basic medical needs and mental health needs to some of the refugee communities around the world. However that looks, whether it just means visiting periodically or to provide a standing facility.
Yes.
So, you know, I hope to be able to get
do
that
that
going, yes.
Are there specific countries that you...
The ones that are close to my heart are those that are housing the Syrian refugees and the Ukrainian refugees.
Okay.
Particularly the Ukrainian refugees, because my background is I'm Russian on my dad's side.
Oh,
and
cool. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's very close to my heart. So, yeah.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. I'm sure you will do it.
you.
You don't need luck. We know you're going to make it happen. It's been great. We know that there are thousands of poor and homeless among us, and we learned that there's a lot that we can do, from giving our time, giving our money. We can give up holidays. We can do more than just saying, "Oh my, how sad." You know, there's a lot we can do. Thank you for bringing awareness today, Miss Susan.
Thanks for having me.
It was amazing. Guys, you know where to find us on Facebook, Hanging Out with Dee. See you next time. Be kind to someone. Bye.